Welcome to the online training session on the topic of water conservation. This is the second topic within Principle 3, Natural Resource Conservation of the Sustainable Agriculture Standard. Water is one of the most essential resources on the farm and should never be depleted by the agricultural activities. In this session, you will learn different ways to economize the use of water and conserve the water resource on the farm. Where in the farm are you using water? If you irrigate your crop, you are using a large quantity of water. If you process your crop, you also consume a significant volume of water. If there are houses on the farm, water is used for cooking, bathing, and laundry. As you use water, is any water being wasted? If your irrigation system is not well maintained, there may be leakages. If you're using flood irrigation or sprinkler irrigation, a big part of the water applied is lost through filtration to the soil or evapotranspiration in the air. You may be irrigating more water than what is necessary for the healthy growth of the crop. Excessive irrigation is water wasted. Your processing method may not be the best one to economize water. You may have an old processing equipment that consumes a large quantity of water. What are the consequences of wasting water? The groundwater level will gradually go down, and less water will be available for crops and for people. Streams may start to dry up, wells may dry up, and eventually the soil becomes drier and drier. What can you do so that water will always be available on your farm? Criterion B 3.18 requires the maintenance of the existing irrigation systems. You need to fix any leakage of the water distribution system on your farm. You need to conduct a regular maintenance of the irrigation system to ensure that it is functioning optimally. If you are conducting irrigation, it is very important that you observe the soil condition, crop condition, and the weather each day to decide the quantity of water to use for irrigation. For example, if you dig the soil and find that it is still very moist underneath, you can reduce irrigation on that day. If the weather is cloudy, your crop needs less irrigation as compared to a sunny day. If the weather is rainy, you may decide not to irrigate at all on that day. You can measure the quantity of irrigation water to be aware of how much water you are consuming and to monitor your water use over time. If you are going to install a new irrigation system, consider installing an irrigation system that is more efficient in use of water. Drip irrigation is excellent in optimizing water use because it only wets the part of the soil where the crop's roots are. Therefore, almost all the water that is applied is absorbed by the crop. As you can see in this illustration, flood irrigation or sprinkler irrigation wets all the area, including the parts of the soil where there is no root of the crop. On the other hand, drip irrigation applies water exactly to where the crop's roots are located. This way, the roots can most efficiently absorb the water provided. There are different types of precision irrigation, such as drip irrigation or microtube irrigation. You need to find a size and a type that is most adequate for your crop and geographical condition of your farm. What are other ways of conserving water sources? You can collect rainwater that falls on the roof and keep it in a tank. The water can be used for irrigation or domestic purposes such as cleaning and laundry. Depending on the processing, you may be able to filter the water used and reuse it again in some part of the processing. Some new processing machines are designed to economize the use of water. If you are renovating your machinery, you can consider an option that is more water efficient. If you have planted eucalyptus trees near water sources, your water sources will be gradually depleted, as eucalyptus trees take up a large quantity of water. To recover your water sources, you should remove the eucalyptus trees and plant native species instead. Lastly, if you are extracting water for production, processing, or domestic use, you need to comply with the applicable laws in your country or local regulations. You need to respect the local rules and cannot do any illegal water extraction. All these activities to economize the use of water can be written in a water conservation plan. In a plan, you state the current water consumption and set a target for future water consumption. Over years, you will implement the plan and record the water use. After several years, if you can demonstrate that you achieve the reduction of water use, you comply with criterion A 3.19. Level A is the highest level of criteria. Meeting them means that you have come far on the journey toward sustainability. Let's do a couple of quizzes to confirm your understanding. A certified farmer is using a flood irrigation method. A trainer came to his farm and said, "Your irrigation method is wasting too much water. If you want to stay certified under the new standard, you need to change to drip irrigation." Is the trainer's advice correct? The answer is no. There are many ways to economize the use of irrigation water, and changing the system to drip irrigation is just one of them. The farmer can choose the options that are most suitable for his condition and implement them gradually. Let us look at this case. Another trainer came to his farm and said, "Let us find ways to use water more efficiently. We can fix the leakages, monitor the water use, and regulate irrigation every day. Let us write a plan on these activities we can start now and those we can do later." Is the trainer's advice correct? The answer is yes. The farmer can start with easier and less costly options and gradually implement more difficult or more costly activities. What is important is to write a clear plan on these activities and implement your plan. Water is an essential resource without which we cannot live. Let us conserve the water and make sure that it will always be available for our future generations.